healing you offer through it?
Like Bodytrance really derived from the necessity to create a concept that really works holistically with women, not only on psychological level or just on spiritual level, neither also just to be physical, because I think the more holistic we can have a deep dive, the more you can be called to come back to your power. And Bodytrance is really the competition of many theories and many profound things that are helping us to unveil our true power. And Bodytrance is just a companion, I will say, that will guide you in a very warming and loving way to find your inner strength as a human and as a woman, and just to unlock your own inner gates, to unlock them, but with less stiffness and with less pressure, with more
Fun.
curiosity and fun for what you have.
Yes, it's what I love about your work is the centeredness and the fire it brings. You really unlock the fire and the feminine force because you've unlocked it in yourself. Merve is an inspiring woman. I mean, I can say that for sure because I'm sitting next to her. She has amazing energy, and she's truly aligned in in all feminine aspects, because we all know there's not only the good side to femininity, but of course also holding up space, allowing yourself to have boundaries, allowing yourself to say no, but also allowing yourself to say yes. And that's very needed right now for women.
I think exactly the way you just mentioned is perfect, because we women have really a problem, an issue collectively to say yes to receiving. I mean, we are really confronted in culture and in social life with different expectations. Like, a woman can be anything she wants as long as it is something masculine, then it's accepted. But if a woman wants to be receiving, it's just, she doesn't have her own opinion. If you want to be as a woman dancing and in your fire, it's slutty. It always triggers the wounded place of the society, and I don't want to go too deep into that thing, but what I want to say is that we have, as a woman, the responsibility to take over that and to see beyond that, because women are really gifted with seeing things beyond limitation, because we are meant to be beyond that. We are meant to put life onto the earthly plane. So how could we ever just be here to fill the gaps between this and that? So I'm not even into this theory of women have to be always into emancipation, because it also creates a lack in women. You want to be a better man while you are not even allowed to be a woman. So first claim your original power back and say yes to your pleasure. Allow yourself to be who you are and allow yourself to receive the love you want. It's very difficult in the practical life, because I've been there a couple of times and I was always confronted with that core beliefs, and I was like, how can that be? Where does that come from, that I believe in this, but when I'm confronted I really get caught up in something else. So this is how the journey started, also with Bodytrance. Yes, a very deep topic.
It is, and I like the fact that you pointed out that feminism and emancipation, it's about getting to know you as a woman. What type of woman, bless you, what type of woman do I feel I want to be in my heart, and allowing that to be expressed, and inviting that softness and then the fire that comes with it. Because when we're too much like in that against energy, it's harming, because a man is not any different from us. We're the same.
We are the same.
Yes, we're not meant to work against each other, but with each other. And
Exactly.
that is possible when a woman is aligned in her feminine but also in her masculine energy, as everybody embodies both. And when a man is aligned with his masculine and feminine side. And
of course,
that's why it's so important for us women to get curious and to explore without shame, without guilt, without expectation, without judgment, who we are.
yes, I totally agree. I love it. I just love what you said, because it's really, we have to understand the cosmic law about it. Like, masculine and feminine energy is pure magnetism, it's electricity.
Yeah.
And it can be only created if there is a pull and push, but not in a toxic way, like we know it from narcissistic relationships or toxic people. Lou, I think I have enough. And it's just like, you know, if you are standing in your optimum of energy, the aspect of feminine energy, and your optimum of masculine energy, it doesn't mean that it stays in that same balance for the rest of your life. It's just for this phase of your life, it will probably guide you in which you are living. So after a while, when you change, your needs change, your surrounding change. So it gets again shuffled, and you discover that, okay, now it's the time to more step into my active part, to analyze more, because I need to take action. And then the masculine way comes out of you. So it's always a matter of what are we in now. And I will tell you also the things in your life that require decision making or communication. They can happen in a feminine way, because you think, I have to decide, this is why I have to take action, but sometimes it's also not right, because we interfere. Actually, we have to create a space where the masculine energy, be it maybe from our parents, our friends, or our work giver, or our partner, the masculine energy has to get also a trigger. And the best trigger you can give it to is in a natural environment, when it gets this call, because this is the pull, the natural pull, the magnetism, and you don't have to sabotage it, I will say. We all do it. I know it's really an earthly thing, but we don't need to do it, because it just happens naturally when you hold the space for your own energy, you live in it, and everything else that is on the other polarity, which is masculine in that moment, can get the call and find you, because it's magnetic.
Yes.
It's magnetic.
On point. Especially the part with the manipulating, because I mean, men do that too. It's like, okay, I want this. I know this is the easiest way to get it. I may know, it's not the correct way, but it seems like everybody else is doing it this way. So that's the way to go for it. That's the way to do it. And then it's the patience and the trust that is missing. And that is something that we as women are called to learn and to embody, because of course, men and women, patience and trust is an important part, because without trust there's war and this balance. So that you pointed it out. Couldn't have said it any better.
I believe also that that it's often what we don't allow us. We have there's really an ego problem. We have it all within a certain amount of intensity. It comes out like when you are telling yourself ego stories. You think, if I don't act now, it will never work. If I don't do that now, it will just stay like this forever. So do you think that the universe is in this law just because you are always acting? I mean, we are always taking ourselves so important in the wrong way. We are pushing the need of our ego so high, and we don't see the natural way of things getting settled, you know.
Yeah.
And I think women are naturally more likely to develop that understanding, but it requires us to go back to our natural state and to come into trust and just to live with it. Lou is a man and he's rebelling against us.
That's what we're saying.
Yes, he's rebelling against
He
us.
just wants to be cuddled. He just wants attention. But yes, that's pointed out in a very... You speak the language of the soul and the spirit, so it may be that not everyone watching this can understand what Merve means by this, but the essence of it is that we have to come in our own energy, make peace with our feminine and masculine side, so that then the peace can experienced in all areas of our life, so that life can get more easy. Because I mean, it's been hard for everyone with all that's going around on a world level, and of course everyone with our individual
topics.
Yeah, let's call it topics.
Topics, interesting topics. I want to say something else because I believe that really a shift happened the previous year. I don't see it as a global problem. I see it as a global chance because after the whole 2020 shift, we see it now, like since February on the world, especially on the coasts, there's a lot of flood happening, like the waters are overflowing. And if we watch it from a spiritual side, it literally means to me that the waters are pushed out, which means maybe symbolically that the earth, the mother earth, is giving birth to a new reality also. It's pushed aside. So we, you know, just to connect it to fertility.
Yes.
Every problem, every restriction, every struggle is connected to your potential that you bear. And if you face your confrontation and the challenge, and if you face it like a call, it's I have been called now to be under this divine pressure and to give birth to a new reality or a new life or a new idea, whatever it is. It is meant to be like that because problems happen or things shift, like also globally. Everything happens and we are all pissed about that, but the universe doesn't stop from being, you know. It just works through that all because the collective consciousness is also shifting, and we have to also find that within to shift the awareness for our body, for the body's gifts, the fruits of the body. Like, we are allowed to have pleasure. We don't need always a partner to meet that. Pleasure is a birthright, and we are fertile if we just allow to enjoy things and not to put them always on condition. And if there is something we really might need, we are always free to communicate it in a feminine way.
Yes.
You know, like, it's important to just open up to your real need and not to say you are not doing this right while you want to say I need this from you. I mean, I know what I'm talking about. I've been struggling with that a very long time, so it's not like I'm judging any of us. It's really that we all have it because it's just what happens from the outside. So this is the way we experience the reality, which is not the reality.
And this is not easy, right? It's not easy to know what is it I exactly want, how can I communicate it, and what can I do myself so I get what I want. And it takes some time to embody that, and it's still an ongoing process. And I like the way you pointed it out with fertility, because every one of us, when we have a wish, a desire, a want, a project, a thought, we're constantly birthing tomorrow. what you think today, how you feel today, whatever you put in today in yourself is what you give birth to tomorrow. So for example, if you want to, in the relationship aspect, if you want to build more connection, more love with your partner, and that's your intention, but your constant thoughts are like, yeah, I don't trust him, I gotta look for ways why I don't trust him, you're birthing in the other direction.
You're preparing that to happen.
Yeah.
And I think also it's kind of you trusting your resources, I trusting my resources, because we never know how much somebody can be committed or aligned. This is always an assumption, but it's important to distinguish the trust word, like to say, I trust myself that I have this intention. I am sure about my own intention. I'm clear about my intention. And I'm committed in my intention. And if you are really clear in the intention to receive and to give, you know what happens? You are being sent to people, or people are sent to you that align with your intention. But if we walk around through the world and we believe that there is still something we have to protect us from, or there's something we have to chase in order to keep it, we might attract people that really show us that they can never be just held in our hands, our hands, or there will be every time a confrontation with your own issues, because it's just the way of things revealing themselves in a natural form. I love it when that happens. And if that happens to me, it's like I don't even cry anymore, because even if I don't want to understand, it's like a hard to swallow pill, but I see, okay, that's the meaning. Okay, thank you, universe. I don't want to fall into a life crisis, but I got you. It's like
yeah, kind of like that. And since you also work strongly with femininity and awakening sensuality in women, you also notice that the women coming to you, there's a great energy, because you've put in the work in yourself. You've spent the time, healed yourself, constantly still looking and healing what needs to be looked at, what needs to be healed. And then that's also the
resonance.
Exactly. And out of that, a beautiful session can happen. And a very, like today.
Like today.
Like, you did your part, I did my part, and together we just birthed a beautiful energy. And
for real.
Yeah.
And this is what is the biggest reward in doing inner work, from your core beliefs that are formed in childhood to the beliefs that you are being given to by ancestors, by this information, up to the things you form yourself against yourself in adulthood, whatever it is. The biggest reward you get when you look at that patterns, programs, is that everything else around you makes sense, and has a deeper meaning, and you are getting connection to people that have the same depth, and they know how to heal things in their own power. And I think it's very potent to say that we are made to heal. People are made to heal, but like the focus the last 3,000 years is shifted, but we are meant to heal each other, or hold space for that.
Yes, exactly. And that's why at first glance it may look like, okay, Merve works with dance, I work partly with dance too. It may look like it's just dance, it's just movement, but it's so much more. It's really, because oftentimes when there is a blockage in the body, especially in the belly and pelvic area and the hip area, it is way deeper than at first glance.
Yes.
And that's why it is so amazing to have someone who has an eye for that, sees that, feels that, has already looked at it, worked for it, because behind blockages in your in the center of your femininity, oftentimes it's big, deep issues that are hard, that are not easy, hurtful, shame, guilt, anger, violence, so much that can be stored unconsciously and then craved to be transformed. And so Merve works with Bellydance too, and Bellydance has always been a very ancient dance form. It was the dance of women. We danced belly dance thousands of years ago. That's why we easily birthed children into the world. We had most of the women's problems that are today, we didn't have them back then. And then of course, the Catholic Church came in, women were shamed, they were murdered, they called us witches, they burned us. And that was when femininity they tried to kill it in their essence. And with dance, and especially belly dance, and all dances that focus on the sensuality, on the hips, you're reclaiming back your natural power that you can, because it's possible you can have an easy birth. It's supposed to be enjoyable. You don't have to walk through your daily life with pain as a woman. It can be easy. You don't have to have cramps every month when you bleed that make you feel like you're having contractions. No, it's really not supposed to be that hard.
Yes, this is why I appreciate you creating this opportunity for us to talk about these things, and I think in forward a lot for you ladies to be here and to take what you can take out of it, what resonates with you, because it's really like sometimes it doesn't make sense to only talk about something. We might understand on a deeper level with our mind, and it can feel like it's healing because now I understand my pattern, okay, or now I have discovered my core belief in my mind, okay. But the thing is, why dancing and stimulation of the hip and midsection of the belly is important, I will tell you. Because like your cells are having memory. This is called in science epigenetics, and the cells have memory, and if your cells have the information for years and years that you are living a certain mode, a certain state of awareness, if it's high or low vibration or whatever it is, they live according to that program that they have learned. So sometimes to transform from a program of survival into a program of abundance, living, freeing yourself, pleasure, requires maybe 2 or 3 deep dive sessions of belly dance, because you really tell your body that you are letting go, you are getting softer, you are feeling for the first time, maybe for the first time in your life, good the way you are, because you move your hips, and your hips are your center after your heart, okay? And we only know in this society, if you have a big booty, if you have a pair of tits, it's great. But I have to bring that up, and what we do is we don't have to always blame men for being like that, or the society. We have to also look at us and blame ourselves, because we go with that trend for years now. And you don't look ridiculous in doing what you are meant to do in your life, like to dance with your hips, to shake it off. You are just investing in your inner healing, because your cells get the information, okay, somebody's letting go, somebody's feeling good, the hormone exchange, communication happens. It's a lot of neuroscience also that is proving that belly dance is good for women, and many things. And it's still another kind of remembrance, because way before female ancestors, they always danced in ceremonies and groups. They were red tents, they were initiation rites, and it's nothing that is just a trend. It's just the origin form.
Yes, exactly. And it's really our dance. And a lot of women, they say, oh no, I'm too thin for belly dance. I'm too thick. I'm too long. I'm too short. I'm too this. I'm too that. I mean, like, how? Belly dance is our dance. It's our dance for women. If you're a woman, how can you be too something like the fuck no?
Exactly. It's just like we are constantly pressing the body into a form. Like, I love to dance salsa, I love to dance samba, I love to do also things like capoeira, yoga. It's all fine because it still is part of my passion. But what I want to say, in this kind of sports or dances, the body is pressed into a form.
Ideal.
It's really a form how it is supposed to be, and it is also potent because the form gives you discipline, provides you with the posture and many other benefits for the brain. But if you want to stimulate not only the brain but your heart center and your potential of creating your fertility, it's good to let go of all that, and it's good to just go with what you have and do it intuitively. I really want to connect to that point of moving out of your intuition. First, it will sound very stupid. It's like, how can I move now? I never did that. I always need, when I'm in the club, I can just vibe with that, I can dance. But now, intuitive dancing, why? It's not even fun, you know, like this. But intuitive dancing really empowers you to explore yourself. And this is what happens in Bodytrance. Like, when I started the work, I had a concept, I had a structure, I had my way of getting to know my clients. But one thing I have to admit, it's the first time that I ever admitted, like, in front of a camera. You know, after the first Bodytrance session, the first client cried. I said, okay, was that meant to be? And the second, in the midst of the session, she cried. And the third, and the fourth, like the whole time. So now I have my reality, and I said, oh, you cry because you're letting go of old systems. You're letting go, you're surrendering, and your body is remembering. And this is what happens when something different is happening than what we know. What I want to say now, the ladies that I am allowed to accompany, they are no longer a shock for me when they cry, because I don't think it's like I did something wrong. I did something right.
Yes.
They are crying because they are transforming in that moment. So, but that it happens in the very first session showed me two things. It showed me that healing must go through the body in an intuitive way. You can have the best diet, you can have the best sportive action, but if you don't go with your intuitive movement and your expression, you always rely on a system to put you in a form, and this is where you cannot create, you cannot be yourself. And the second thing is the fact that the first session is enough and you are just outbursting your salty water, which is also detoxing. This made me realize I really do the right perfect thing in this life, and I will just bring it up because I in that moment all the self inconfidence just stopped, because I'm okay. This was why I was sent here. So I love it.
And also, crying is a beautiful thing. Oftentimes we think, oh, I cry, it's bad, I'm sad. But no, crying is healing. Crying is allowing to feel what you feel. It is also, it makes beautiful skin.
It makes,
I don't know, like, I've always realized that when I cry, like, I just oh my god, my skin. But yeah, it's like when somebody cries, there's an emotional resonance, and something that was stored up and stuck just got released, and because there was this relief, tears happened. It can also be that happy tears or maybe frustration, whatever comes up is okay.
It's just a way of the body processing this emotion in a natural expression, because the body knows that a strong emotion is difficult for some people, for some systems to express, and this is why nature made this mechanism that there is a flood coming out as a symbol of our perception. But what I want to also say, because it's very important what you noted out with the crying, I mean, if we analyze how things in the body work, every stimulation from outside has awakens a liquid response in our body. How do I mean it? I will start up. In the brain, the neurotransmitters are also working with the spinal fluid, okay? It's coming up. It's a physical, anatomical science, okay? Nothing on that. And still, like in yogic tradition, there is the Kundalini power, the power of your life force, that they say if you get more enlightened, your spine is the center of your light. And it means, it makes really sense for the parallels to see that they are meeting. They are also based on something. When I see, like, I don't know for you, but when I see watermelon that is getting cut, or I see a lime, my mouth gets watery.
Yeah.
It's also a stimulus from outside, and it's my body's response to say, I could take that now, okay?
Yeah.
Then we had the crying, like there is something we are overwhelmed with, maybe positive or negative, and we are crying. It's the response. When we are aroused sexually or in a fantasy, it happens something, especially by women. Women have the way of creating really the how is it called in English?
You mean the, I call it nectar.
Nectar. It's called Amrita in Sanskrit tradition, but the nectar is created. Cervix fluid, and so it goes. There are many ways of the body responding to a stimulus, and all the stimulus are okay because they don't derive from a sickness or from an infection. In that case, they are natural way how the body works. So we have to really see the potential in that. They are informative.
Exactly. And also, I mean, of course, with the WAP song that Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B released, for many years it was also something that was not so much talked about, like, ooh, if my punani gets wet, it's not good, or a lot of not knowing in regards of that, when in reality it's just like a natural reaction. And that's also the way you can tell how you feel towards your partner when it comes to fertility, because that fluid you produce when you have that WAP, that's the fluid that's going to help the sperm to reach and fertilize the egg super fast. So whenever a woman does not produce her nectar correctly, or it's
not abundant, not flowing,
or it smells weird color, then it's an indication, hey, something is not right now. Let me look at it, let me fix it, let me see what's going on here. Not with judgment, but with curiosity.
Yes.
What is my punani, my body, trying to tell me right now? What did I overlook? And yeah, that's an important part in regards of fertility, because in a healthy body, a healthy baby can grow. So it goes deeper than the wish, we want to have a baby, so it should work right now. You have to create the right environment for it.
Exactly. And I'm really a fan of things to enhance something or to activate something. Like I work sometimes with yoni eggs or with yoni steaming herbs. I love that, but we can use all the tools that we are given to, but if we don't work from within,
from here,
from the core, wherever it is by you, you know, from the core, and see what am I stopping myself from receiving or living out. What is giving me a fear of expressing it? How can I claim it, or why is it not yet claiming itself?
Yeah,
these are the main topics, that can also, they are very simple to handle, because you are the only one that can just, change it and make it different. But it will help you on many other levels, and sometimes the way out or the solution is not far away. Most of the time it's very close.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard about it. There's this tale from Native Americans. And so Father Sky, in regards of God, was asking, where should we place knowledge? Because we don't want humans to find it easily. So someone suggested place it in the trees, and it was like, oh no, the human's gonna find it. We should place it in the earth. Oh no, they're gonna dig, they're gonna find it. And then it was a falcon, I think I remember, who said, let's place it within humans. And then that's how it was done. Because first you look outside, you look there and there and there and there and there, and you get frustrated, and you're not in yourself, but it's within. As also ancient quote says, that the kingdom of heaven is within you, and whosoever shall know himself shall find it.
Exactly. I love it also that everything, when you dive deeper in your feminine, sacred feminine energy, and you transform that conditioned core beliefs to something that is more you, it requires you in the same process to really align with the idea of sourceful thinking, sourceful living. Like you really know that you derived also from a source, and you get again into this oneness because you understand your own dualities. You understand that everything works in polarity, but you know also that everything is oneness, and it opens you up not just as a physical woman, but it opens you up to more limitless woman, to be more spiritual with everything. And I believe that there are a lot of connotations with spirituality that are maybe cloudy, but for me, I don't give my consent to cloudy things. For me, it's very straight how it is. It's very simple how it is, because there is the God system, there is the structure that is the source. And as a woman, when we give birth to ideas or to a kid or to whatever, to ourselves, we understand that creation is real, and that we are also a creation. And this is so powerful. I never want to miss this inner wisdom again, because it just makes my life meaningful. You know, I love it.
Yeah. I feel like that's the turning point in every woman's life, when she realizes whether she wants to have children or not. You can birth life out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. And then also that I'm just amazed by the female body, that we can literally open up, but then also close down and go back to almost as if nothing ever happened.
Yes.
Because
that's a creepy
because the Punani, she can stretch nine times of her size, and also the uterus. And then of course it takes time to develop back. If you carry out a baby for 9 months, it takes 9 months to rebuild, but with proper care and all, it goes back. And while you're giving birth, and the moment when you're pregnant, you're carrying out a heavenly seed, so to say. I mean, of course, we know it comes from man, and
you're also important.
But yeah, men
you're
are
also important.
Very
if you are
important.
watching here, any men, you are our sacred partner.
Yes,
for real and forever.
Yes, and men don't have it easy, so we definitely want to give gratitude and honor to the men as well, because they're doing also a very important part here and have to carry a lot of responsibility and a lot of pressure in today's society.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I have one more question for you, Merve. So, what is something that makes you feel the most feminine and the most sensual?
I think for me personally, it's how I am aligned in all my parts. like the part of me that is a kid, that I feed this kid, because a woman, a feminine person, is a giver.
Yes.
And I give to that kid. When this kid needs rest or wants to cry, I cry, because I know it's permission. And it's a very female quality to give permission.
Yes.
And when I feel like I want to be the seducing woman, I give myself permission to be that. When I'm in my masculine energy and I want to achieve my goals in the morning, I have my to-do list, my emails, my phone calls, I say also, I give myself permission to rock it, and to align all these aspects of myself that I have within, to balance them, to feed them, gives me the most sensual feeling, because it shows me that I'm a sentient being that can sense all of her needs and can also take care of them or communicate when there is help needed. It gives me a very sensual feeling, and from that feeling, that is literally the result of the competition of all, it gives me the power to serve others, to serve a purpose, to serve a meaning. Yes.
I really like the fact how you pointed out the various aspects that each of us embody, and oftentimes a woman doesn't feel free when she's not giving herself permission to live out what wants to be expressed. For example, the inner child. I love how you said I think you said goddess, the inner goddess, or the seducing woman, and then, or the angry bitch.
The angry bitch, I'm so often
very
that.
important.
Very important.
Yeah, very important to express.
Yes.
All of it. When you're the inner, let your inner girl come out, your inner sex goddess, the angry moody bitch, the
high priestess.
Yeah, all aspects of you, because that's what makes you whole and what gives a woman the
Standing in the glow and the natural way of being beautiful and complete from inside out. And I don't say that it has to work for everybody equally the way it works for me, but it's just my lifestyle. And once you sense this freedom that you create for yourself in a deeper meaning, you know, to be also free when you are depending on something, to give yourself permission to depend on something is also freedom. I mean, so it's a lot of contradiction that makes you free, but I could never go back to a state less than that anymore, because it's really, everything makes sense. It's not about me, but it's about me as a vessel being on this plane and knowing why and how. I'm just demut in English. Devotion. I'm completely devotional.
Grace.
Grace.
Grace. Yeah, grace and devotion. Exactly. That's what it boils down to, because then when you're nurturing all these aspects in yourself and you let them be, then you can open up love to another person, and you can allow yourself to be loved, allow yourself to be seen. And that's also something very sacred that we can learn as women, to learn how to love and be loved again.
Yes, love is very uplifting. The pure state is very uplifting and elevating, and gives space to be.
That is beautiful.
Yeah. I love it also.
Is there anything more you would like to say or share?
Maybe one last point. I think it's very simple how sensuality works. It's simple, it's not complicated. Intuition is real, intuition is a flowing state. Intuition happens if you just let it happen, instead of make it happen, you know. And in the power, in the ability to let things happen, that they can work through you, you will have such beautiful experiences. And this is sensuality. Sensuality is not always a red lipstick and like big earrings. It's just a feeling today, but it's not like always. It doesn't require that all. It's really more simple. It just starts in a basic form, and it can be explored in different dimensions, but it starts really from inside. Even to lie in bed with a warm blanket and to sense your back lying on top of it and listen to you breathing from your nostrils can be very sensual, you know. This is what I want to say, that it's way simpler than we think.
So true. And it has a lot to do with being present, conscious, and allowing yourself to be exactly who you are and who you feel right now. Not thinking about who you were yesterday, because that woman, we thank her that she made you today, but and also not thinking about the woman you could become or want to become, but appreciating the woman you are right now, whether she has no makeup on, full makeup, crying her eyeballs out, screaming, laughing, loving, fighting, whatever. Just let her and let yourself be.
Just put yourself into that place. You are already that woman.
Yeah.
You have to just step in and be that.
Yeah.
Put yourself there. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, then. I am getting hungry.
Me too. We are still having to cook, but I'm grateful.
Yeah, yes. Let's make food, and then we might make more videos for later, because we also have something very special in the slow cooker and planning that we want to do together
in order to serve.
Yes, all women or men out there who are in need of balancing the energy.
Yes, I love it. Dankeschön for making it possible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, then talk to you later. Bye.